It was on Wednesday last week, I think, that Donald Trump issued the statement that the annual allocation for the US, taking in refugees from other parts of the world, had been cut from the 150,000, which is the number that Joe Biden capped incoming refugees at, would be cut to 750, the majority of which would be Afrikaners. And I spluttered my way through some mystified incomprehension at that and said something along the lines of white Afrikaners are amongst the least persecuted people on the planet. Needless to say, I got some support for that point. I also got a lot of criticism for that point, saying I was ignoring the plight of the rural farmer. And I read with enormous and mounting delight a column which appeared on Daily Maverick, written by my next guest, Jahni de Villiers, who is a policy consultant specialising in labour and development policy. 7,500, I missed a note, I beg your pardon, but it's still quite a cut from 150,000. My plea to fellow Afrikaners, stop navel-gazing and get stuck in. Hello, Jahni.
Hi, John.
You say at the end of your piece, there's lots of lovely lines that I want to quote, but you say, if my messaging has offended you, good. How many people have been offended versus those who've quietly or loudly supported you?
I'm a very positive person. So I'm going to tell you that I have had so much support during the day, and it's been absolutely wonderful from all sorts of people that I've had to do with in my professional life and in my personal life. The victim mentality seems to have caught hold under some of my Afrikaner compatriots. So I've had some interesting comments, and I think it probably echoes exactly what you went through when you spluttered and then answered.
Because I want to ask you why you decided to get involved in the Start the Petition that you have started via a website, afrikanersvirsa.co.za. But I mean, it's in your piece. I want a better life for my children. I know every mother wants the same for theirs. That future will only happen if we build it. If those of us who have privilege use our privilege for good. That means we need to take hands with all South Africans, and we need to start getting to work, which means stopping being victims. I mean, that I think is the reason why you've got involved and why you're speaking out in the way that you are.
100% true. As I said there, I think being a parent of teenage kids gave me a very specific perspective, and I'm very fortunate that both my kids are in integrated schools with integrated friend groups, and honestly speaking, seeing what people go through. I'm at that age where I'm 42 now, so I was a young child at the end of apartheid. And obviously saw things as it happened in my whole adolescence and then adult life in the new South Africa, in our country, in our integrated country. And it's just never occurred to me that I'm supposed to be a victim or that I'm supposed to create wealth and privilege only for people who look like me. I think it's untenable. I just don't understand how we are in 2025 and we are still there. You choose to be a victim. I am not saying that crime is not a problem in South Africa, and I'm certainly not saying, and I said that in the piece as well, that we don't have socioeconomic problems or that we can't criticize government. All of those are true. You can walk and chew gum. You can hold all these different beliefs and have all of them be true at the same time. What you decide to do when you get up in the morning and you go to work or you run your business or you interact with your fellow South Africans, that's a choice. And I think what inspired me was 44 people, many of them who I grew up listening to, reading, watching, who decided to stand up and say, no, you don't. Groups who want to agitate in another country on behalf of Afrikaners are not speaking on my behalf. And that spoke to me to say, no, we're normal people. We want to build our country, we want to stay here, we want to build a future for our kids. We certainly cannot, in good conscience, call ourselves refugees. I think that's completely wrong. And
because you're right. Refugees are people who've been forced to flee their home country and have crossed an international border to find safety in another country. We live in a free society, in a constitutional democracy. We have serious and economic and societal problems that we need to address very quickly. But to call anybody who wants to live elsewhere in the world, any South African who wants to live elsewhere in the world, a wannabe refugee, it's insane. It really is.
It is. It is. Yeah, there's just no other way to put it. I think that is the full stop. And, even though I got a lot of criticism today, and, I talk about whiteness as well, because this refugee order is directly connected to white Afrikaners. It's not to the Afrikaans community as a whole. If you read it with the executive order, there's a very specific conversation that needs to be had. And some of the criticism I had today is like, if you mention apartheid, I shut off. Or if you mention whiteness, I shut off. Those people who argue like that, they have a lot of deconstruction to do. And that is their journey. And good luck on that journey. The rest of us who acknowledge what's going on and what the reality is in the country, I think are here, want to take hands, want to make a difference. And if you look at our petition, there are 1,300 strangers who feel exactly the same way that those initial 44 do.
Jahni, thank you very much for writing it. Thank you very much for talking to us. Jahni de Villiers, if you are interested in reading more, the article is on the Daily Maverick and the petition is on www.Afrikaners vir Suid-Afrika, so Afrikaners vir SA.co.za.